yo, faux shizzle and so forth. It's time for yet another horrible edition of the one and only Rapping the Forums. Yes, it's where we take the worst, horrible, evil, thuggiest, terrible, abysmal hosts in the world and turn them into disgustingly terrible raps. Adjectives for the win. Let's give it a spin. Okay. Congratulations to Reanimation of the Ragnaros realm. Level 60 human mage. You're talking bollocks. Oh, it's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. When the dynamics of this game are fiddled with, it doesn't make sense to alter one or more attributed kinetic AoE process or such other process similar to when a mage does AoE, a warlock, whatever buffing classes that require kinetic AoE damage to help them level fast is the only thing Blizzard probably need to do at the moment. Blizzard are making mages so that they are nerfed all the time. This is known as pauperization. If you do not know what this word means, I suggest you get out your dictionary and then try to use it in the sentence sometime and impress your guildmates. Blizzard are gregariously changing this game to cloth wearers' disfavour. If you go back to patch 1.3, the cloth wearers were a lot more powerful. I suggest you read the patch notes like I have just done, spending the last 2.5 going through, however, compared to now and the upcoming 1.9. I fear that AoE damage will be getting pointless and we shall have to rely on single DPS and single prey. I got the feeling that Blizzard just like to extradite us cloth wearers to the opposing faction and use us as the bait for players like rogues, etc., who can gank us easily, making the game fun for them, irksome and laborious. For the rest of us, clothers are eventually going to all cancel their account because PvE doesn't offer enough at the end and PvP is just way too hard for us, especially as our AoE damage and DPS on single mob isn't very high, and if we want to get it high we have to sacrifice our stamina, causing the dynamics or rogue versus mage to be imbalanced and surgically and coordinated battle. I think the general opinion is that most people within World of Warcraft agree with the consensus on this topic or general or field of discussion. An example of thuggery. Oh yes, there are people on the internet who think they're gangsters. This is a prime example, folks. Coming up right now, someone who was probably lobotomized at birth. Because that really is street. Okay. Congratulations, Shamgar, the guild IPN on the realm Arthas. Oh dear. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Vid of me, Pony Scoob, hilarious. K-peeps, I don't post too much onto general forums. I usually stick to Arthas forums, where I am known as the Noob Poner. My guild, IPN, stands for iPone News. I used to have all low-words, but Blizz got mad, and I had to rename it. Anyway, as I'm all elite, right, and I pwn news like 24/7, and this vid is hilarious. Soon I will release my PvP video of myself pwning numerous noobsicles. Over and over again, up Pally doing 8,000 DPS, no lie. I know you think I'm lying, but wait till you see it. Is it voice hacker skills? Pwn. Here is a little preview of my vids to come, which will be plentiful and need an editor besides virtual dub and what audio codec. Do you guys use at what bitrate and stuff? I was using DivX 521 or something. As well, anyway, here is a vid of my friend pwning a noob and me calling him Scoop. Ha ha ha, you knew I'd do it. This is just a preview. Thank you to Black Stars for pwning Uzi and calling him a noob. Valordin and exposing Uzi's noobness. This guy Uzi come in and scooped all the loot in MC runs every time. From the very second he joined up for MC runs, he would whisper me and every other pally and tell them not to roll on stuff so he could have it non-stop. He wore Valor to MC, a paladin and Valor in MC, aka Valodin. So that's clue number one of how noob he is. He whined in Gen. Raid, chat every chance he could. He is an effing F noob. Wearing all Valor in MC, I've been on top of the heal chart since day one. I've pwned at healing, what has he done? Scooped epics, that's all he did. Was he even on heal meters ever? Nope. Even with the epics, did he say anything helpful to the raid? Nope, he just whined about getting loot the whole time. What is a scoop, you ask? A scoop is a noob who that only cares about loot, and they effing suck at this game and don't deserve the loot to pronounce it correctly. You must say it like this, starting in a low pitch, then moving to a high pitch. Scoop like that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. This is just a preview of what I'm gonna do in my vid of me pwning noobs. I'm gonna release the vid where I talk trash for 15 minutes straight and I keep pwning a random noob and then I report him for ganking him so mad and swearing at me. Haha, you guys will love it. More to follow. Woot woot. Pwned. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Nasty, horrible, disgustingly awful. Blech. Wrapping the forums as usual. That's where I lose half my listeners. It's great. I lose the other half when I start talking again. Right, okay. We've been talking about casual v hardcore, we've been talking about Anchorage, and now I can't be bothered with it anymore. I'm bored. Let's talk about something stupid. Armor sets and art direction of Blizzard. This is the kind of thing that Vendor Trash usually deals with. Sort of topics that are amusing and fun. I can't do amusing and fun because I'm neither. I'm a depressed, cynical person. Blech. And I just had this delicious orange and nectarine yogurt. And it had 126 calories in it and 0.5% fat. That's probably why I'm not full. I need to eat things later. Anyway, right, back to the point. What was the point? I didn't have one. That's the point. So yes. Arm sets. Now, there have been numerous concerns, read wines, about the armor sets and the way they look. For no apparent reason, just to fill in the last 10 minutes of the show before we actually do something silly, like perhaps karaoke. I'm going to talk about armor sets. I'm going to talk about each and every one. Yes. Now, has to be said, I had my doubts. I really did. When I saw Wrath for the first time, I sort of laughed. Kind of, it was like, what is this? I mean, really, what is it? It's Power Rangers with a pizza cutter on his head. But no, it actually doesn't look all that bad in game. I'm impressed. Blizzard wins on that particular piece of art direction. It looks good, it looks nasty, and it's a sensible progression from Valor to Wrath to Might. Or is it Might to Wrath? Of course it's Might to Wrath. What the hell am I talking about? So yes, many spikes and blades and all nasty things. I admit, when I looked at it, I thought it does look pretty silly. I mean, what's that with the pirate skulls on the... It is. Look at the picture of the Wrath set on the worldofwarcraft.com website. You'll see what looks like a pirate skull on each shoulder with a big hat rather than blades. But if you look at it in-game, especially on someone that isn't an orc, it does look pretty awesome. I like the new armor set. I also like the colours it was done in. The same cannot be said for Dragonstalker, which is terrible. Abysmal. The main problems I have with Dragonstock, other than the fact that it's pink and purple and looks silly, is that, well, it doesn't make any sense from the perspective of the class. Now, a mage can have brightly coloured clothes, that's fine, that's not a problem, but a hunter, who is supposedly, their whole idea behind a hunter is the idea of stalking your prey through the undergrowth, it's not exactly the best camouflage in the world, really, is it? It's bright purple, with glowing bits. It's not to say the armour itself is not a cool design, it's just, well, really, it's the colour that did it. That's actually what did it. To be honest, if it was purple, if it is purple, and if it was black instead of purple, then that might have looked a little bit better, but it's purple and it makes no sense in the concept of the class. How are you supposed to sneak up on anyone like that? Now, we saw Bloodfang ages ago. We really did. Ages and ages and ages ago. That was one of the first tier 2s we actually saw, and it still looks as cool. I'm a big fan of it. It's a good progression on Night Slayer. It's a good progression on Shadowcraft. It's nice. I like the look of it. That's all I could say about it, really. It looks a little bit silly on an orc, but then again, most things do. That's the whole point. Now, the Paladin. This one caused quite a little bit of controversy, and I can see why. It very much seems to be based on Warhammer 40,000 more than anything, which is not necessarily a bad thing, because that's a good bit of it's a very good source to get your ideas from. If you're gonna go and plagiarise anything, then you might as well plagiarise Warhammer 40k, because it plagiarised everything else and did it very well as well. So what you've got there is a sort of Retribution-looking kind of Paladin, sort of the Inquisition rather than the Spanish Inquisition. I like the design, and it looks considerably better than... I can't even remember the name of it. I don't loot Paladin stuff. I don't see it in raids because I'm Horde. Is it Lightbringer? It could be Lightbringer. I don't care anyway. It looks considerably better than that, and a big improvement over Lawgiver. Mage. Had me doubts, but it looks fine in game. I've seen that it's the shoulders that got people. The shoulders, people thought, oh, it's a giant water dispenser. Now, that was a funny picture, it has to be said, but to be honest, it looks good. It's the animations that do it. On the picture, it just looks like some awful lens flare. The animations in-game look great. And that's one of the big things about the new armor sets that I really like, the animations. The same with the new weapon designs. I got my new Staff of Dominance, and I was confused until I saw it shooting off purple lightning, and I was like, wow, this is great. Yeah, I actually squeaked like that as well. It was great, and my voice increased 3 octaves. But there you go. Priest, it's fine, to be honest. I've got no problem with the priest thing. I really like the halo effect that's going on there. Very good. Shaman stuff looks amazing. The whole lightning thing that they've added, and it's very subtle lightning as well. It's not just, way, let's have big flashes of lightning coming out. No, it's very subtle. You can only just see it. And that's what makes it cool. It's a very nice design, and for once, it's actually a set that looks nice on a troll, whereas Earth Fury does not. It really doesn't. Warlock set. Yeah, it's nice, but I think it's got a little bit too much green in it. There's something feels a little bit overdone about the whole thing. It's too pronounced. It's got too many glowy green bits. But there you go. So yeah, the Druid. Let me put it this way: we mock the Druids in our guild who have this. We just say, ha, it's a reindeer. Someone I don't think thought things through as far as the model on a Tauren goes. Now, on a Night Elf, Storm Rage looks pretty cool. On a Tauren, it looks ridiculous. The hat looks silly. It really does. Any cowl, it's the cowl thing. You'll notice that any sort of cowl, sort of hood type design on a Tauren looks silly. Dreadmist on a Tauren looks silly. Any kind of thing like that looks ridiculous. And it is a hood, which is the main problem with it. A Tauren looks silly in it. I mean, what are you doing, really? Reindeers. What? The rest of it's fine. I mean, the rest of it's a nice design, but giant antlers. Now, Cenarian looks ridiculous enough on a Tauren, but giant, big, brown antlers on a Tauren. No. No. It's like, this is actually the 5th race. That it wasn't actually Blood Elves. It's actually reindeer. And they've come to dominate us all. Evil Horde reindeer. Zong. Now, I have one last thing to talk about. Because this feature always comes at the end of the show. It's this. Imbecile. 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 Of the week. I have about 50 of these today. I've got so many imbeciles of the week, it's ridiculous. I get submitted these from all over the place, and it's just crazy. But this is the one that I found. I like this one. I'm a big fan of this particular imbecile of the week because it's so ridiculous. Right. Rank 14, a health risk by Blizzard. I'm going to post this in the chat forum, just so that you can see it, and I will read it out, of course. Okay. Now, the person responsible for this one is a QT, a level 16 gnome mage from Loser's Lurgy, and a Realmer's Laughing Skull. Now, he says this. I would really like to know Blizzard's view on being responsible for a system that is a health risk to its customers. Right, okay. Let's just start by taking that particular sentence apart. Health risk would imply that it's a risk to health. So, is it a risk to health? Is the system a risk to health? No. Why? Because you're not forced into doing it! It's that simple. Why would it be a risk to health if you're not forced into doing it? It's a game, folks. So here we go. As it is, the minimum playtime for reaching rank 14 is 10 to 16 hours a day for several weeks. Now, that's a number that's been pulled off the top of your arse, really, hasn't it? Where's your statistics? Where's your evidence for that? Whereas it might be, yeah, on some servers. It's not like they're actually doing it because they're being forced to. This is not healthy. In fact, it's downright dangerous. No, it's not. Playing 10 hours a day is not dangerous. I've done it for years. I've played games for all my life. Since I was 4, I've been a big gamer. That has done nothing for my health. I'm slightly overweight, but that's because I eat too much crap. That's not because... Well, to be honest, I'm not even overweight. I'm about the right way. I'm just a little bit flabby. I'm not as muscular as I should be. That's because I'm too lazy to work out, and I eat too many kebabs. It's that simple. It's not because I'm playing games, it's because I'm too lazy to go and work out. Gaming has not damaged my health in the slightest, and I play for that much. When I am not at work, I am playing games. Or sleeping. Occasionally I actually go out with my friends, but that was mainly my university years when I actually had some money. Now I don't, I can't afford to drink, so I just sit at home playing video games. It's fun, kids! I would recommend it as a way of life. Anyway, to promote, create, or defend the system that can literally endanger a player's health and question his sanity does not seem like the right way to do it. Question his sanity? I would question the sanity of anyone that thinks you are forced into becoming rank 14. Of course, I doubt that Blizzard intended people to play 12 to 16 hours a day, but some will. Of course they will. It's an MMORPG. It's been since the dawn of time, since they invented MUDs, Telnet. People played for hours and hours and hours and hours because it's progressive. The whole game is progressive. Or the more time you invest in it, the further you get. It's not like your normal single-player game that you finish in 20 hours. You can't finish it. That's why you can invest so much time in it, and you feel okay investing so much time in it. If you play a single-player game for 10 hours straight, and you finish half the game, you feel a bit cheated. Play WoW for 10 hours straight, you'll come out with lots of gold, or some fat loot, or that kind of thing. Time equals effort equals reward. Now, another bit here. I doubt Blizzard intended people to play 12 to 16 hours a day, but some will, and due to those, few more will follow. They have to follow, in fact, to play even more to beat them. Have to? What is this have to? Where did this have to come from? I don't feel the need to be rank 14. It would be nice. You know, I'm going to try and gain a few more ranks. I'd like to be Bloodguard, or Lieutenant General, whatever. Get some nice loot. But I'm not. I don't have to. I want to. No one's forcing me into it, nor do you need to do that to compete, in fact. You can get as good, if not better, mostly better equipment from instancing. I did the grind, 10 hours a day, was maximum for me, on the other hand, and this left me trailing in the dust, never getting past rank 9. I feel stupid and ashamed. Why? Why do you feel stupid and ashamed? You made that choice for yourself. Don't go blaming people for your own stupidity. That is one thing in this world that's really bothering me at the moment. People blaming others for their own stupid choices. People can't take responsibility for anything these days. Your psycho kid goes and stabs another kid in the face. It's video games' fault. It's not my fault for not noticing the kid was a psychopath. I go and gun down loads of people on the street. It's the fault of rock music. No, it's not. It's the fault of me being a psychopathic maniac with an assault rifle. Take responsibility for your own goddamn actions. You weaklings. Oh my god, it's spineless people. And blah, blah, blah. He says, Blizzard, this has to change, and I know you are looking into the HS, whatever that means, but please, put it on the top of the list. If you don't have the epics, you'll eventually face the pre-made teams that do, and you'll have no chance in an even hard battle. Welcome to a non-skill-based game. Your skill is irrelevant. If you've got the epics and the time and the team, you're gonna win. That's the way it works. You should have known this before you signed up. I mean, it's not as if you have to go and aim your frost bolts. This is the example I use every time, and as far as I'm concerned, it's still valid. Counter-Strike versus World of Warcraft. In Counter-Strike, you have to aim to be successful. You have to be able to aim, you have to have good situational awareness, you've got to have good reflexes, good team play, good strategic mind even. In WoW, you don't have to aim. Your reflexes are not very relevant because battles last a lot longer. On a 2.5 second cast time, my reflex is not particularly relevant at this point. There is a level of reflex involved, but it's not exactly massive, let's face it. So, people who play more and have more epics are going to be more successful. Welcome to MMO. That's how most MMORPGs, if not the vast majority, play. I can think of a couple of examples where that's not the case. Only a couple. Before you start flaming me, take the whole situation into consideration. What am I thinking? I'm not even reading this properly. This is how much this post is melting my brain. We as players have to say no to this kind of system. Why? Please ask yourself, is 10 to 16 hours a day, every day for several weeks healthy? Health is irrelevant. It's your choice how and where and how long you play this video game. And if you can't control yourself, you're a weak-minded, spineless fool who needs to learn how to take responsibility for his own goddamn actions. Imbecile. Of the week. You've been listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. Thank you for listening tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll be back hopefully the same time next week. I've got some karaoke for you. Yes, it's pre-recorded because my mic will not sync up with the music on Sam. So if were I to sing something here, it would come out the other end sounding like I was 2 seconds out of sync. So I pre-recorded it instead. It's not very good, but it's great for driving away listeners at the end of the show. It's Sonata Arctica, it's Replica. Thank you for listening to my show tonight, and it's good night for me. Hide behind the sofa, folks.